Now am I on? Hi. Who all do we got? Emma made it. Hey, Emma, how you doing? Well, there's Mark. There's Keith, and there's Cooper, and Jordan. Hi, everybody. I'm glad you could make it. Mott is not feeling very well right now, so they may join us in a little bit, but maybe not. It might be us. So if you want to talk shit about Mott, now's the time. I'm personally fine. Yeah. Whew. I always feel like inside the house things are good, and outside the house everything's terrible. Thanks, Mark. So this is a painting I finished recently. I posted it to BlueSky and some other places this week, and I think it turned out nice. I'm really proud of this. It's a little spaceman coming out of the woods. As I was painting it, I was just really thinking a lot about how this is one of the most Tyler types of paintings you can ever see. Is if it's somebody like emerging from the woods, that's like that's just something that I would do. Hey, Carrie. Oh, well, I hope you have a good night and a good weekend, Carrie. See you. So I like this. I did another painting. Let me grab it. This week that was kind of fun and interesting. It's still pretty wet though. Let's see if I can do this without getting paint all over my hands. I posted a little bit of a picture of this. And it's pretty fun. It's got like it's very sort of pointillist-ish. I thought that was just having a lot of fun with this. This is like a big mood painting. But then tonight I was going to start something that is a little more fun. I was working on a painting of my mom. Don't tell her, it's a surprise. Detective Bones is on the case. So I'm going to work on a painting based on this photo that I took of my mom. This was here in town in Oregon. There was a time, man, I think it was about a year and a half ago when the Aurora Borealis showed up in all the way down in Oregon. And so we went up to the hill above town and watched the aurora. The photos that your iPhone takes made it look way cooler than it was like on your eyeballs, but it was still like extraordinary. It was really beautiful. So anyway, I always liked this picture I took of my mom looking at it, so I was going to do a painting based on that for her. And I did the thing where I worked it out in Procreate and then printed it and then transferred it. And I used this red transfer paper, which is really beautiful. You can see how the image came right off of there. And I used it a couple times because I screwed up the layout a little bit. And I had to put the transfer the pencils twice. In fact, if you look here, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. You can see like my first attempt, I made the figure too big, and so I just gessoed over it and then transferred, and just like the transfer paper with the red transfer paper just does such a great job. It like is so sharp and dark and very crisp. The Aurora made it down to Arizona. That's wild, Dylan. With light settings, iPhones can take amazing photos. Sometimes I mostly hate my iPhone camera, but like low light, it does a really, or just a really great job. The Aurora didn't make it to LA. I'm surprised you can see any stars in LA. That's something that, man, it like makes me depressed sometimes to think about just how it used to be that on any clear night in just about any place in the world you could go outside and see the Milky Way. And I haven't seen the Milky Way in the sky like myself in 15 years probably. In fact, the first time I saw it, first time I saw the Milky Way with my own eyes, I was a little bit freaked out by it. It's really extraordinary. So I'm going to work on an acrylic underpainting tonight. I remember as a kid working out in the bush, about 4 hours drive from the nearest town. The stars are so ridiculously vivid. Yeah. I don't think I've seen the Milky Way in 20 years. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's shocking what they've taken from us. I need to get out to, there's parts of Oregon, in eastern Oregon, that are like designated dark spots where there's not supposed to be any outdoor lighting, so that and it's so that, like, I forget what they have out there. There's something out in the desert that they use for like radio telescope or something, and so it's like it's just a big area where you can see the sky really good. And I'm pretty sure you can go out there and camp and stuff. I went to Joshua Tree hoping to see the Milky Way. The stupid moon was too bright. Man, I would kind of be surprised if you could see the Milky Way in Joshua Tree, because Joshua Tree is like so close to LA. Like, I'd have to check on a map, but I feel like Joshua Tree is, well, Joshua Tree is like bordering Palm Springs, which is a pretty big city. I do feel like with my oil painting lately, I have crossed over into a zone where I'm not like I felt like I was doing a thing where I was having to save it for a time when I could like focus on it or something. I don't know. Like it felt like oil painting was starting to feel like overly precious to me. And then something changed recently where I'm sort of just like, yeah, I can just sort of like sit down and squeeze out some paint and go wild for 20 minutes if I want to, and it doesn't have to be like a big deal. It can just be sort of a casual, fun painting, like sort of like how I would treat a sketchbook. And that's been making a big difference for me. It's just finding ways to make it feel casual. I'm painting over workable fixative, and I am not enjoying it. And also, I forgot to zoom out so you guys could actually see what I was doing. Yeah, Tugboat, this could happen, right? It could be connected. Actually, what I think about this is my mom has some paintings of her that were done by a painter. I don't know his first name. We always just referred to him as Professor Parsons, and he was an art teacher, but he was kind of a big deal in the Mormon Church, where he would do like he painted some scenes from the Book of Mormon that are used very widely in the in like the standard editions of the Book of Mormon. But he did a couple paintings of my mom. He hired her as a model, and she did one when she was like 18 or something, and then another one when she was pregnant with one of my sisters, and then I was just thinking how fun it would be to have a painting of my mom um, now as a mature woman. I mean, she's old. She's an old woman. I stole a Book of Mormon from Utah because the paintings in it were gorgeous. Yeah, right. They have I know when you're in Utah, you can find them in the hotels, just like Gideon's Bibles, and they're intended to be taken home if you want them. Unless you feel better knowing that you're an outlaw, Emma, then it was completely illegal. So my goal here is to get like a very loose, but hopefully clear value um, sketch, I guess. I don't know what you call it. The underpainting will be like, we'll have like all my value ideas in it, hopefully. Everyone got mad at me for taking it. I told them that's what they're there for. Yeah. Well, you can explain it to Man, I was gonna drop some Mormon prophet names, but I've forgotten them all. Nephi, when you get to heaven. Is there a delay or filler on the painting view? Other two look fine and correct, but your hand painting looks as if it's sped up. Oh, you know what? Yes. Um, I was messing with the camera settings a bunch um, this week, and I think I screwed it up. It's got like the real slow shutter speed on it. Let me see. Oh, and it's the ISO too. Okay. Oh, there's not a lot I can change. It's a little bit better. Not quite as blurry. Is that better for everybody? Hey, Math Raptor, what's up? Tonight's dinner, chicken ramen with cheddar cheese and Taco Bell mild sauce. Ooh. Man, I'm very excited. I only recently learned that Taco Bell has a gluten-free menu, and I hadn't eaten at Taco Bell in probably 10 or 12 years. And the other night I was coming home from Portland at like 1 in the morning and was able to stop at Del Taco. It was absolute heaven. Yeah. You know, I will say about Taco Bell um, that it isn't very good. It was just nice to have it after having not had it for so long, but I would much rather have Del Taco any day of the week. But there's not a lot of Del Tacos in Oregon. I'm not sure why. Taco Del Mar. What's the... I know I've eaten at a Taco Del Mar. There's also like a... There's a taco chain, like a place that's pretty comparable to Taco Bell that's very Oregon based. But what's it? I don't remember what it's called. You'd love to go to a Taco Bell conference? That sounds wild. I mean, I listen to my brother and me, and they do that Munch Squad part of the show where they talk about they basically read press releases, fast food chain press releases, and they're always just completely unhinged. I imagine going to their like conferences would be terrifying. That is terrifying, Keith. To think that 20 years ago was not the 80s and 90s. Oof. There's definitely been like, there's a switch. Like, I feel like they switched out um, uh, decades for generations. Like, it used to be, it was like the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s all had like their own special vibe. And then after 2000, they stopped doing tracking things by decade and started everything was a generation. It was like Gen X and the millennials and Gen Y. And I'm sure there's some like really fucked up psychological, sociological reasons for that, but I don't know it. Yeah, aughts and the teens both sound kind of weird. I love that red. May I ask what color it is? Yeah, it is Terra Rosa. I don't know how to get it to show up. It's yeah, it's a nice earth red. It is a synthetic iron oxide pigment. I like it for underpainting. It's a little bit purple for my taste, but that's actually why I put out this yellow ochre and then have been forgetting to use it. So I'm trying to get like enough of an underpainting that when I go back in with oils, I can actually let some of this poke through. And some of my earlier underpaintings, I've made them too light. I've worked too transparently with them, and it's made it so that I haven't wanted it to poke through with the oil paints. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. Like, when it showed through, it just didn't look right. So I think if I keep it a little more saturated and a little bit darker, then it'll work better. Because the dark works because it almost always shows up as like in between the forms is where it shows up the most. And having a little dark area tends to work better, I think. At least in this case, I think it'll work better. We'll see. Yeah, I think Tibbs is taking care of Mott somewhere. Usually the only reason why Tibbs hangs out with us on the live stream is because Mott's in here. Like, Tibbs likes me just fine, but man, Tibbs likes Mott a lot. Those two are basically inseparable during the day. We've heard people call the 80s and 90s the aughts. That would be a weird thing to call them. Because aught is, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's like that means zero. Like a double aught shotgun is a double zero shotgun shell size. was going to do kind of red underpainting up here, but I think as soon as I put this blue down, I was like, nah, it's got to be, the underpainting's got to be blue. Because I think even in the magenta bit of the Aurora, like what's going to peep out from behind it will be the blue of the night sky. The 2000s are actually called the Naughties, but it sounds too fake to be true. Yeah. Is that actually true? Because it does sound fake. I always thought that was just like a pop culture thing, like a pop culture slang thing to call them the Naughties. Aught is a single zero, like a 1906. There we go. 1906. Man, this acrylic paint is drying so fast tonight. Godzilla's minus Aught. I can't help but feel excited about French publisher Morgan signing Rom V, Ethan Cagle, and Rad Hakashirnan. I don't actually know who that is. I've never heard that name before. To create a comic for both French and English readers. Image will publish news. Oh, that is something. I'm really surprised that there aren't more like parallel publishing stuff. Like, it just makes, like, I guess the reason is probably just because it's harder to coordinate. But man, it just really does make sense to try to hit all the markets at once. French hardcovers look so much better. Yeah, I think sometimes, like I don't know. I have seen, since I've been traveling, I've been seeing a lot of European editions of books, and there's a lot of French albums that have a design sensibility that is very like weirdly generic to me, in my opinion. And it's obviously not universal. There's a lot of really, really beautiful editions that come out in France, but there are a lot too that they like. They seem to like a very standard, like they're just kind of, especially like the adventure, like I guess it's the legacy books that I'm thinking of the most, that have been running for years and years with, and are still using the same sort of design languages they did in the 80s and 70s and stuff. If it's image publishing it in English, it's generally up to the creators to put their money into making collected editions, from what I've heard. Yeah, I don't know. I've never done an image book, so I don't actually know exactly how it works. I think just based on what I know about image, I would guess that the creators would be on the hook for a lot of it, kind of only if the floppies didn't break even. Because I know that's something that happens fairly regularly with image books, where the book won't break even and won't reach profitability, and the creators actually end up paying for the last issue or two to come out, like paying for the printing and everything, so that they can at least finish it and get it into trade. But again, like I said, I'm sort of talking out of my ass because I've never done an image book and have never signed an image contract. That French album size is my ideal comic book. I love that size, and I love a digest size. Like I love a manga size book. We recently got in a DC compact edition of Y the Last Man at work, and it's such a great value. 10 issue digest for $10. Yeah, those digests are a fantastic value. I wonder if like they'll ever be able to go straight to digest with those, with anything. It certainly doesn't feel like a likely thing, at least anytime soon. The floppy format is such like a curse and a blessing. You know, it's like on the one hand it is such a weird format and ends up being really expensive for the reader as a way to like read a book. But it like the collectability of a floppy is sort of undeniable. And the tradition behind it, all that stuff. Like there's all sorts of reasons why floppies are cool, but they probably aren't the best way to read a comic. Man, it hurt my feelings to say that. Reading floppies is fucking great. American publishers should be doing monthly magazines like Shonen Jump. Just a bunch of single issues in one book. Man, I wish that like Marvel and DC, like it would be easier for DC because I feel like DC has like a smaller group of core characters. But I wish they were doing a monthly magazine that had like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, and then like one or two other stories in it. And that have that be like their core. Like if you read that magazine, you would get like the main Batman story, and you'd get the main Superman story and the main Wonder Woman story. The buffet edition. Imagine if novels were released one chapter at a time every month. Such a weird way to release comics. They used to be. I mean, like, almost every like classic American novel was serialized in newspapers before it came out as a book. Like Huck Finn and Moby Dick, and actually, was Moby Dick serialized? I know that uh, Mark Twain serialized most of his books before they came out as novels or whatever. And it made sense though because like printing a book was still pretty expensive in the 1800s, and newspapers had recently become much more affordable. I think Pinocchio was released like that too. Sherlock Holmes was like that. Andy Weir released The Martian a chapter at a time on Reddit. That's interesting. I didn't know that. This is working out okay. I feel like this is capturing the lighting scenario that I was hoping for. The Green Mile was serialized. Where did they serialize it? Everything is available all at once and when a big dump. Yeah, man, I do not enjoy consuming most like television and stuff in one big, like I don't like binging. Back when binging first became available, like when DVD box sets became like real available, binging was pretty fun, but for me it has like lost its appeal. Like when we watched Murderbot recently, I was so excited to like just watch one episode a week. That was really an enjoyable experience. Like it's fun to anticipate it. It's fun to think about it in the space in between episodes. Sorry, Andy Weir posted The Martian a chapter at a time on his blog, which gained a following. It may have been reposted to Reddit, but it all led to him getting a publishing deal. I thought The Martian was a really fun book too. I'm guessing that a lot of like scientist-y type people might find it irritating, but it was pretty fun. Oh, is Project Hail Mary his follow-up book? I haven't. I don't know. So binging back in the '90s, I record shows on VHS, about a 5-hour tape, and watch them when the tape was full. Natural born binger here. The thing for me with stories is that I've always liked um, reflection. I've always I like reflection and I like anticipation. Like I like having time to reflect on what I have experienced and to anticipate, um, you know, get excited about the next chapter coming. Had to double check, but Dune was originally serialized in a magazine called Analog in 3 parts before it was collected into the novel. Oh. The one thing about serializing novels that I think is fantastic is, and some people may disagree with me about this, but I think that the ability to publish something and get public feedback and then later do like the final version is really really cool. I mean, for one, like just being able to find typos that way and stuff, you know what I mean? Like that's really helpful, and it feels like um, it's less helpful for comics. But I feel like in novels, if someone was gonna like rewrite a chapter between serialization and final publication, I don't think people would like, you know, come at them with pitchforks or whatever. One of my favorite television watching experiences of all time was Twin Peaks, the original series, because I had moved very far away. Well, I'd moved like to a different side of the state from my best friend, and we would watch Twin Peaks, and then I would get my one long distance phone call for the week right afterwards. And so I would call, and she and I would talk about Twin Peaks and catch up. And that was like getting to experience a show like that, and have that like social, personal dynamic be a part of it is really cool. Hard for a network to plan on that though. Although I suspect even the dumbest television show out there has like a couple of teenagers that are like losing their minds over it every week and calling each other to talk about how cool it was. Binging is a way to focus attention and catch small details they would otherwise miss. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, and I definitely think that I am like a television watcher who at least on my first watch, I miss like everything. I'm one of those people who's like always surprised by the twist ending. Unless it's like incredibly obvious to begin with. But like I don't know. I definitely am a like how would I put that? Like when I watch TVs and movies, I'm not like an example is the new Alien movies, like Prometheus and I forget what the other one was. But like a lot of people watched those and got really mad because it wasn't um, what they thought would happen or what they expected to happen, or they felt like there was things that were set up that was not played off. But at least on my first time watching both those movies, I was sort of like in the midst of it. My thought was like, "Huh, so that's what happened." Like I think I am open to whatever's being laid down, and sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. But I rarely go into a movie with like head canon that has to be satisfied. If it exists, it has a podcast. Terrifying. I definitely find that binging makes shows with more care taken in the details significantly better for me. Like I find it much easier to pick up on symmetry in cinematography across the episodes. I did Pluribus in 4 days and it was sublime. I haven't seen any. We've gotten rid of most of our streaming services, so there's a lot of stuff that I am not going to see for a long time. But like we watched, oh Jesus, what's the name of that show? That Apple TV one where they have to go underground and work in the office. We watched that like episode per night, which I guess is kind of binging. Where it's like the kind of the only TV show we watched while we were watching it. Severance. Thank you, Emma. So dumb. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to remember names of shit. Well, I think this might be a pretty good underpainting. It's sort of way darker than where it's going to end up. And like I was saying at the outset that I wanted to get all my values right, but I don't think I want to get, like, the brightest brights are in her hair, and then like the most saturated stuff is all in the sky. So so I think I want to have enough room so if I put white down, when the background shows up, it's still darker than the white. I think. We'll see if that's what I actually want when we get going. I'm probably going to work on this this weekend and try to get it done this week. So it'll probably be done. Well, I don't know. It depends on what my work schedule ends up being this week, but I might be done with it next week by the time the next stream comes around. Oh, I should mention the next stream. I'm going to be doing a presentation at Powell's in Portland, Oregon, and we're going to try to stream it. It's scheduled for next Friday at 7 p.m. So it's scheduled exactly for live stream time. So I'm going to try to stream it, but we might not be able to. Depends on phone reception and stuff. Your mom can put it on the refrigerator. That would be fantastic. So next weekend I may be broadcasting remotely, or I might not be broadcasting at all. I'll try to post on the socials when I know what's up. Yeah. So this feels really dry right now, but I don't think I can paint over it yet. I think I gotta let it at least dry overnight before I start doing any oil over the top. And here's, like, it's hard to see in this photo. It's showing up a little bit more contrasty, but like, this is sort of where we're going with it. I want to keep that, like, I think I'm going to keep the figure a little bit warmer than it is in the photo, maybe a little bit more yellow, so that the coolness of the sky colors are a better contrast. But like, I don't know, my mom's hair looks really pretty right here. It's like just so silvery and long and flowing, like some sort of like nature witch. And that's one of the things I'm going to try to really dial in with this. And we'll see how it turns out. I do really like, and there's no way this is going to come across on the stream, but I do really like the texture on this. The little bit of the couple layers of gesso, and then the amount of acrylic that's gone down, I think is making a thing that's it's still pretty smooth, but has like a little bit of paint strokes, like brush strokes going in different directions, that I think is going to be nice to paint over. Nature Witch. Nice, thanks, Cooper. All right, well, I think that does it. I think that was the cooldown for tonight. Go tell the people that you love how much you love them. Take care of each other. Fuck ICE. Abolish the Department of Homeland Security. And I'll see y'all next week. I love y'all. Bye.